Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and today we have quite a special replay. Yes, this is an amazing game in the old Scharnhorst, submitted by BlazeGunny, member of NGA. Keep in mind, you can always join NGA. The recruitment link is down below in the video description. Just hit show more, it'll be there. Click on it, you'll have fun. Anyway, today's replay. So, in the Scharnhorst, and we are on neighbors. Now, as you can guess by the title of today's video, Hold My Beer, things do get a little crazy fairly quickly on and fairly unexpectedly. Things to remember about the Scharnhorst. She is amazing. She has torpedoes, both port and starboard. Guns are very, very good. They reload quite quickly. They have excellent traverse. There is quite a bit of secondary armament on the ship as well. The secondary armament isn't as good as the Guys Now, for example, and that's to be, expected. The Guys Now gets the upgraded hull, where the Scharnhorst does not. But, whatever, Scharnhorst is a premium ship, so makes sense. And the AA isn't too bad, but the Scharnhorst can take quite a beating. Much like the majority of the German battleships, they have excellent survivability. You can go in there and brawl it out with folks all you want, given the right situations. I mean, you can't just charge in there and expect to brawl it out with everyone and win. Doesn't happen all the time. Today is pretty much an exception. But it is possible, and when it does happen, it is quite fantastic. And even, well, I even have music at the end of the video to sort of complement the whole craziness that is going on. It's gonna be pretty good. I'm pretty excited. Anyway. So, things are off to a fairly standard start. It's a standard battle. We're on neighbors, so we're going to head to the north and get ourselves into these islands, using them as cover. Obviously, there are going to be enemies up here in the north. There are always enemies up here in the north, and so, Blaze is just sort of getting himself into position to provide a defense of our base, right? We want to defend the base. We don't want to just leave it wide open for the enemies to sail down in from the north and just, start capping it out. So that's what we're doing. Now, the majority of our team as well, you can see, is taking up position, at least in the northerly direction. We have some other allies, that are still in base, kind of, probably guessing as to where they want to go and waiting to see what the enemy is doing. We can see the majority of the enemy team. They are pretty much grouped up, all sort of coming down in through these islands here, little north of, or northeast of to where the B point would be on the map if it was domination. So we can see this happening. One thing, actually, I'm just looking at the little island fort there off in the distance, wondering, when's Bastion coming to this map? It has to come to this map. I mean, I suppose this map is lower tier, kind of. But you could have a Bastion on neighbors. I think there's already sort of the little island land fort things in there. But anyway, not to get too far off track. Moving to the north, continuing along, right? We can see some enemies starting to pop up, so we're going to take some pot shots off at these guys, see what we can get accomplished. In terms of the tiering of this match, we are, top tier at tier 7, so this is also quite fantastic. Doesn't happen all the time, and I mean, it doesn't really matter. The Scharnhorst is fully capable of duking it out with higher tier ships, not too much of an issue, as long as you keep your wits about you, right? You can't expect to sail in a straight line and to do well, and that's exactly what Blaze here is not doing, not sailing in a straight line, which is usually a good idea, right? Especially considering the majority of his allies, you can see, did continue in a straight line on the other side of this island that Blaze has on his port side now. By doing this sort of maneuver, it is really beneficial, because now the enemies are all going to be focused on your allies when you come out from around this island. They will not be focused on you. Maybe as well, if things were that intense during the battle, the enemies might even forget that you are going to come out from around the island, and you could get some really nice sneaky shots off at a few players and maybe do a bunch of damage. You never know. Taking a look at some of the enemies that we do have coming up here in front of us, we see this enemy Cleveland here off in the distance. The poor Cleveland. We've already got our armored piercing loaded up, and armor piercing on the Scharnhorst at these close ranges does very, very, very well indeed against cruisers, just amazingly well. The Scharnhorst guns are actually the same guns that you get on the Admiral Graf Spee. Today being the 27th, I believe the second part of the Admiral Graf Spee mission comes available tonight. I don't know what time, 8 Eastern maybe? Somewhere around there. Fire off some more high explosive there at the enemy in the distance. Those poor Omaha class cruisers, and I'm talking about all of them, like the Marblehead and the Murmansk. They just never seem to do very well, and especially with the changes to advanced firing training and to the Tier 5 matchmaking, it is just a sad situation all around for those guys. But anyway, pushing out from beyond the island, we can see that we do have a number of enemy ships in front of us. 4, in fact. 3 of which are battleships, and then we do have the enemy Belfast here as well in front of us. So we're going to start focusing on the Belfast, because the Belfast is a pretty big threat. Plus, we can pretty easily take care of this Belfast with our armor piercing. You can see we just got 2 nice citadels on the player here as well, so excuse me, things are looking pretty good here in terms of taking down the Belfast fairly quickly. Then we can move on to our enemy battleships. Now, these battleships that we're going to see, I'm not sure what was going through their minds. No idea. I mean, I know that they're having a bit of a collision issue over here right at this time, but still, the Scharnhorst does in fact have torpedoes. Despite what you may believe or want to believe, she does have torpedoes, and you do really need to watch out. BlazeGunny turns bow in to the enemy battleships, not afraid of dishing out a little bit of love for these players, a little bit of holiday cheer maybe as well, who knows. But it's about that time in the video where we're going to have to refer back to the title here of Hold My Beer. So ladies and gentlemen, for the next 2 minutes or so, enjoy some music and the carnage that is this Scharnhorst replay. Wow, what a replay that was. So we got a Confederate, double strike, close quarters expert, high caliber, Kraken, devastating strike, and high caliber. Did I say all those? I don't know. That was a lot a lot of kills there, and I have no idea what those, like I said, what those enemy battleships were doing, but whatever. It made for one hell of a replay. So thank you so much, Blaze, for sending that in. I do hope you guys enjoyed the replay and the video today. As always, leave any comments you have for me in the video comment section below. Love reading those, responding back to them. Hit the old like button if you did like today's video. Hit subscribe if you are not a subscriber, and of course, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.